CRL Week number 4 action coming to you very, very soon. Ole Miss versus Ball State. Two teams trying to make the Eastern playoffs. Who's going to get the job done? Let's find out.
A battle critical for a seat in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Ball State taking on Ole Miss. And, you know, I've seen a teams be supremely confident in the past and be completely wrong. Now, I'm not saying that that happens all the time, but I am saying that I don't think Ole Miss are getting their credit from Achieves and Corelli. But, Herc, what do you make of this matchup as we get underway in our first best of 5 of the night?
I mean, it's going to be an incredible matchup no matter what. I just feel bad for Ole Miss. Everybody's dogging on them, and then the one time they got some backing, it was on accident. So there is a lot to prove, but granted, it is starting out pretty much how most people predicted.
I mean, there you go, Wova. Nice pass over to Guh. I mean, that was a sick pass off the ceiling, and Guh hit that with such force, 133 kilometers per hour. And that's a nasty start for Ball State.
Yeah, that is such a great opener for them. I mean, that's exactly what they wanted, right? Early goal lead here. One of my C-Money with the demo almost missed, but there it is. The solo plays we heard so much about, able to get that second touch on there and tie things up quickly.
I mean, Guh did his job. He got Wonder Mike to commit to a path, but then Oath got deleted. And I mean, that's a great response from Ole Miss off the bat. Don't give Ball State a chance to really start dominating the middle of the field, creating pressure. Now you're just kind of, you know, tapping the ball right back to them the whole time. Well, Guh's got something to say about it. He's got 2 goals on the board already.
Yeah, Gus kind of going all out already. There was Wova, took this one over to the backboard. It was the bump that kind of just left this one wide open for Guh to take advantage of there. So nice little shootout here early in, only 40 seconds, and we've got 3 goals at this point. At what point, you know, just do things kind of start to slow down a little bit, unless they just want to go for that and see who's last to kind of like play chicken almost?
I mean, you talk about all the goals scored so far. You expect a lot of it in this game. You got Oath and Lunar, both sitting at 8 and 9 respectively in goals per game. You know, funnily enough, it's not Oath who has been putting balls in the back of the net for Ball State in game 1. It's Guh. Lunar, he only has 52 points a minute in, and no doubt for the offensive powerhouse to get going would definitely help out Ole Miss, but they're having some trouble getting a hold of this ball.
Yeah, Lunar's kind of sitting a little bit more on the back end. You can see also just kind of struggling to find his rhythm a little bit. There's a nice flick. Pass over to Wonder Mike, takes the shot. That one goes crossbar and out. That one could have been a great response to an earlier goal that went on in. And again, it's these shots that keep finding their way through, but not quite past the defense. Now it feels a little bit more sporadic coming from Ole Miss.
Oh, Ball State. Oh, that might have been a chance for them to break out. It still may be. Right now, both teams just kind of launching the ball up. Wonder Mike got the follow-up. You know, Oath talked in his pregame interview about Wonder Mike, saying you gotta watch out for his solo plays. Hang on, Gus parks his car in front, almost pulled blue team out, but now Lunar on the other way. Almost became unlocked. Wonder Mike immediately up for it again. Bunch of play just happens out of nowhere. Wonder Mike tries the neutral hop pinch, but failed. And they'll have to try again.
This one goes up into the air. Wova's gonna try and take this one, carry it into the blue half. As soon as it's there, it gets sent on back. But one thing I do, you know, take into consideration with a team like Ole Miss is, like Ball State, you do have to remember that there are 2 freshmen on this squad, Guh and Oath, so there is a level of pressure and nerves to be talked about. Granted, they are holding their own right now, but I know that they respect Ole Miss enough to know that the level of experience they have in Rocket League and the scene in general could make this a little bit of a challenge, so I'm liking the level of aggression that they're opening up with. There's Oath extending the lead once again. This school goes up by 2.
Yeah, this one just kind of ended real poorly. C-Money comes up, and it's timing on that read as he comes across. He's trying to predict. He's just trying to go for the ball there. I don't think he's trying to predict the shot. He's just trying to get there as Oath is getting there. And ended up flipping a little off. His path was a little off the ball on the read. But you can't let Ball State in on those free chances. Another ball off the corner. Nice shot from Wonder Mike. And that's a nice return play for Ole Miss to respond.
Oh yeah, this is a great read here. C-Money put it into the corner, and Wonder Mike just great anticipation. Plays it forward, cuts that lead down just by a little bit. And 1 minute and 47 seconds left to tie things up or find a lead for yourself. Doesn't feel quite impossible with the sheer amount of shots that we've gotten from Ole Miss. Here comes another one from Lunar, and that was the player that we kind of had eyes on a little bit. We're waiting to kind of, wake up some, because the capability of Lunar could help extend a lead, but Wova's got other plans.
Wova does indeed. Lunar getting harassed by Guh the whole way down the field. He's forced up high into the corner and in a real difficult spot. Guh opens up that entire play by pushing Lunar off the edge. He can't defend the back wall until he gives up that edge and giving Wova a chance to dunk him. He just didn't have the momentum. He couldn't get in front of the ball, and they're crushing him now. Guh with a big ol' hat trick. Starting off for Ball State, my goodness.
I mean, it's exactly what you want, right? If you are Ball State, you're coming in, you're a favorite in everybody's mind right now. You just gotta go out swinging. And, we heard it in the interview. I feel like once they kind of asked, what the challenges are going up against Ole Miss, the self-awareness, of stopping Wonder Mike, not allowing him to have so much space, them being very self-aware of the level of demos that can come out from Ole Miss as well. I think they came into this with a game plan very clearly, and it's working out.
Lunar even put in the pregame chat right before we started, don't get demoed. Well, I think that maybe Wova could have responded with don't get scored on. And the results speak for themselves here. Guh with a hat trick and maybe some more for Ball State. Continuing what has been, I called out Sheaves at the start. I said, he's been supremely confident before. That's a nice goal. Lunar, as he carries it across. The reality is most times when Sheaves is supremely confident, he's absolutely correct. Because he's a smart guy. And
that is true.
He knows that Ball State can do what Ball State have been doing for the last 4 minutes and 18 seconds.
Achieves knows ball. That is quote of the day
State.
For this one. Achieves knows ball, State.
There you go. Oath might get another one past to Wova, and Six will just let them keep pace on their lead and able to do it. But I think Guh's really been a standout player for them in game number 1. You talk about Oath being the leader on this team in goals per game. Gotta feel good when you can kind of sit back and be at the bottom of the leaderboard, pick up a goal, and still be down by 1, 17 seconds to go.
You know what is so funny? In the moment I was waiting, I thought to myself, I was like, where's C-Money? What has he been doing? He's been so quiet and just laying low on this one, immediately finds a shot for himself. I think, again, game 1, kind of that feeler, what level of energy is everybody gonna bring into this one? And Lunar, as time is going on, is waking up more and more, but 8 seconds left to try and tie things up here in game number 1. Otherwise, Ball State's gonna walk away with their first win as this one hits the ground.
Ball State do indeed. A late try from Ole Miss will definitely keep Ball State honest for the rest of the series. Oath talked about Wonder Mike being one of those key concerns that he had. You were talking about earlier, Hercules, and his ability individually behind the ball. A lot of fast touches that he gets. I mean, he was early in this game doing a lot to get Ole Miss in front of these balls, but Lunar, it took a little time for him to wake up, but I think now, after that last minute, what we saw from Lunar, definitely going to be a different Ole Miss when we get into the next 5 minutes here.
Oh, for sure. Some of the shots that were coming out from Lunar once he started to wake up, just emphasis on him, the little double taps that were coming out. He was ready to start bringing out, the striking abilities that we all know he's capable of. Again, just took a little bit too long on that one. You guys got close enough. You're just down by 1, but game number 2, definitely enough time, to kind of correct those mistakes and come in swinging. But again, Ball State, they came into this game with a plan. They're very, very aware of what they got to do to stop, Ole Miss, and it's very clearly working.
Also because, this is the big match. Like, if you were going to, if any win was more important than any other, it's the team that is literally sitting in front of you in the last playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. If you can get the win over them, even up your records, you know, the rest of the season is up for grabs, having advantage on that game. But Ball State, they feel like they should be the ones. They got the first game win. Will Forbidden Temple be any different? Well, currently, your eyes are telling you no.
Yeah, it's looking very reminiscent of game number 1. Lots of early shots from Ball State, and eventually they find their way through with none other than Wova.
Wova involved in the offense again. He had a goal in the last game. I believe actually he had, no, yeah, because Guh had 3 and they only scored 5. But yeah, Wova getting his second goal of the series. Wonder Mike already high off the backboard. Still stolen. Ball State with Oath. It's taken away. Lunar gets there in time.
Yeah, that was a great save there from Lunar. Lunar was also another player that we saw kind of left on that back end defense a lot there. You can already see him going upfield trying to prep for the shot from Wova, but it's still going to find his way through. Great placement there on that one. Ball State go up by 2.
And now Lunar's coming back, and I don't think he knows that Wova's right there, because he's just coming back real quick. He knows Wova is somewhere to his, either to his left or his right, but to be right in his third as he's flipping back, and he's got barely any boost. Wova's in the perfect spot to punish him there, and that's just, you know, you gotta say, feel a little unlucky if you're Lunar, when you think you have the right beat on the pitch and Wova's right on top of you. Turns out you may need to look a little bit closer. Now it bounces off the ramps. Great pass from C-Money. Wonder Mike will split the lead.
I was wondering if that follow-up was going to be able to come through after this shot. C-Money's, it went posting out. Thankfully, Wonder Mike just far up enough to get this one going. And I feel like this is kind of a pattern we see a lot. Ole Miss definitely having to work together. And again, I credit it back to Ball State being aware that they can't give Ole Miss that much space, because the last time they did in their history together, it didn't quite work out, and they never really were able to take them down. So this time at least things are a little bit closer for the time being. Just a 1-goal differential. Lunar up in the air, gonna carry this one all the way through. It goes crossbar and out.
Yo, Guz having a series. This man is all over the place. He simply is so difficult to deal with. He was an offensive powerhouse in the first game, collecting a hat trick, and now a banger save off the bar, a difficult one too. So easy to just miss that one and have it bounce away from you. Wonder Mike though gets the challenge back over to C-Money, and there was Guh flying in, taking the play away, flushing it back to Wova.
Comes a Wonder Mike off the ceiling. Guh's gonna take the shot. And you talked about a powerhouse. That's exactly what it is. I think this might be, okay, no, this is his first one of this game.
He's
Go
I'm
everywhere.
sorry. He is absolutely everywhere. And I really wonder what C-Money's thought was as he's rotating back to net, because you see him turn towards the corner boost, but he knows nobody's back in net. He knows he's last back. Oh my God, go, please. Jeez, my Wonder Mike, gotta make the save. But like, it's just little things like that. You give Ball State little gaps like this, and I mean, they're gonna widen the gap on you. You cannot let them throw a wrench into the plan. You gotta be perfect on your rotation. And so just little things like that, one little turn, it's enough for one solid shot to beat you to the net.
Here's Lunar. I feel so stressed for him each time. This poor guy has been just absolutely challenged and a half at this point. Guh gonna put this one down. Oath, tiniest of touches to try and push it forward, and somehow manages to get another one that lets it go forward and through.
Oath on the front on the offense. He set that initial one up and dunked C-Money, who thought he could carry it around and thought Oath was gonna come out, maybe expecting a challenge from another angle, but Oath turns right back in. He had a great recovery. I mean, that kind of shows you why Oath is on this team. Not just the mechanics, but also his ability. I mean, you know, recoveries are mechanics. It's the same dang thing. Lunar getting across, and we'll just pinch it right back downfield. We'll see if Ole Miss can get something going. Lunar, that's a decent shot, but certainly have to work a little bit harder.
Well, just over 2 minutes, down by 3 goals. Ole Miss trying to push into that Ball State half. Slowly start to close this gap. Lunar wants to center this one over to C-Money. Maybe a follow-up here from Wonder Mike will find its way through, but that crossbar has been such a fourth player for Ball State at this point. It is bailed them out more times than they've realized. One to Mike, gonna send this one again. C-Money takes the shot. Wova save. In a minute and 38, Ole Miss just continued to struggle against the Ball State defense.
It was an underrated save from Wova. He recognized that pass was happening before One to Mike let the ball go, and he dove across quickly, and there's another save. Well, see, now you're getting all the right pieces for Ole Miss. They're doing all the right things to get the shots in front of the box, but now you have to deal with the goaltending, and it's proven a little too difficult for you. Lunar gets the catch underneath, but One to Mike can't go. Oath completely stuffs the ball in the corner. I'm sorry, the orange half is closed for business, Ole Miss. And you don't have any money anyway, with about a minute left, and still trying to get downfield.
Yeah, there's just you're pretty much just running out of time at this point. The bump play is really gonna make that even more difficult for you. I mean, if you're already down low, you might as well go lower.
And if you're already up high, why not climb a little bit higher? That's where Guh is right now. A nice trio of twos, 2 goals, 2 assists, 2 saves. Dude has been absolutely clinical. Ole Miss have no answer for Guh.
No, they really and truly don't. Guh's kind of been a level of perfection and just speed that really you're not seeing anywhere else right now. He's a breakaway right now.
Oh, good golly geez, can you please stop this guy? My goodness. Another hat trick, 2 hat tricks in a row for Guh. I think he was tired of seeing his buddy Oath there on the top 10 goals per game list. You know what, let me inch that one up a little bit. Let's just take our critical game that's really important to win, you know, to get to secure our place in the playoffs, or at least to make it a little less scary. Yeah, how about Guh, you decide to pop off today and none of us will work. There's another one he almost gets. He'll get an assist for that one, so he's got 3 goals. And now a playmaker on 3 assists. Oh, I mean, why not give him the triple-triple? Let's just give Guh one save. Why not? Brazil.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Take us to Brazil at that point. That was an incredible play there. Got the pinch, the follow-up, everything well-rounded for Ball State. And these next 25 seconds is pretty much just standard regulation. It's Ole Miss just going to play it on through. And at this point, you know, you kind of got to ask yourself, what is the game plan? Headed into game number 3, right?
Stop Guh.
Stop Guh. Everybody was so focused on One to Mike and not giving him space that, well, on the flip side of things, everybody forgot about Guh.
How could you forget about Guh? 0 seconds, ball touches the ground, and Ball State on double match point.
They look incredible. I think you said it best. They're pretty much just clinical at this point. It is so clean. Guh, absolute MVP for sure. But I do gotta give credit to Wova and Oath. The setups from his teammates, just opening space. Super, super disruptive. The sheer amount of bumps and demos I've seen that have just totally destroyed the Ole Miss rotations, that allowed Ball State to go 7-1 this time. Absolute perfection.
And Ole Miss, I mean, they had the offense that game. It was a defense, it was goaltending excellence from Ball State. Like, Ole Miss really had a lot of chances, and the bar definitely helped on a couple of them, but you come away with only 1 goal after taking 11 shots on net. And then, of course, you look at the other side and you see why there's 6 saves on that side. And congratulations to the bar for, you know, getting the most saves in the game. Ole Miss needs something different. And you said that they were getting outboxed. And I always say the best way to fight physical play is to outplay them physically. You have to get dirty. You can't dance around someone in the mud. You got to get in the mud with them. Otherwise, you're going to have problems. And so Ole Miss, I think they have all of the right pieces in place. Again, they have the good offensive pushes, but it comes down to the right decision at the right time and being able to make sure that everybody is here. And Guh calling for a pause, so we will wait here back over at twitch.tv/Rocket League for station identification as we get all of our players back and ready to go. Guh called for the pause. We're not sure what happened, but we'll make sure everything is okay and get back in. Looks like we're good now, so we should just be able to reset.
Yeah, Yeah, I think we'll be good. It should be really quick. I don't want to get too into whatever that game 3 was, because I mean, we're probably going to see the same level of aggression from everybody in the restart on this one. But yeah, we're getting in here very quickly. But for reference, if you guys are just tuning in, Ball State is currently on match point. And not just match point, they've Braziled. We've seen double hat tricks come out. And now we're going to see if they can end it all here in game number 3.
Guh having an absolute class game. Lunar gonna start things off, and he is the game's, or he is Ole Miss's leader in goals per game, and he has really effectively been shut down. It looks like Lunar experiencing lag called for a pause right before all of that just happened. So we again are here for station identification. We hope you figured out where you are. I'm not going to tell you again. Just kidding. You're on twitch.tv/Rocket League. Watching
Rocket League.
Rocket League. And waiting for both teams to get their packets in order. And we'll make sure everyone's internet connection is good to go.
Yeah, hopefully this one gets sorted out, and 3 times is the charm. On the restart, we're gonna see here, hopefully quickly, but yeah, for now, like we were talking about before, if you guys just tuned in, this has been a pretty intense matchup in terms of, Ball State and Ole Miss. Ball State has been an absolute unit in this entire series so far. In particular, Guh, he's kind of this player that nobody has really been able to stop. And coming into it, there was a lot of focus and talk on One the Mic and trying to see if there was a way to stop him. Not realizing on the opposition that Guh was going to be kind of that star, player on the field today. I think you might be muted. Or unless it's me.
Excuse me, I am sorry. The mic was muted.
Oh, good.
But the game is unpaused. And I believe we are right back underway. But that's the scary thing for Ball State in the latter half of the season, Hercules, is that, they haven't had the easiest road. It's been a difficult one for this team, hence why they're in the 6th spot in what has truly been a stacked conference. But if they really heat up in the back half of this season, that momentum can ride them pretty far. We've seen teams do that in Collegiate Rocket League, and the 3-point passing play completely shut down by Lunar.
Yeah, that was a really good shutdown on there. 30 seconds in, Ball State doing exactly what we've seen time and time again earlier in the series, just taking shots at this net one time after the other. Here comes Oath. Low boost in the tank, enough to try and drop it down over to Wova. Wins the 50. Maybe Oath can double this one on through. It goes to the post and out.
Oh, it was so pretty. That whole sequence from Ball State. That's what everybody dreams that their threes games looks like. Just everyone in position. Oh, pass to you, pass to you. Oh, now they're missing. Now they're all over the place. And Oath is putting the ball in the back of the net. He doesn't get his hard mechanical try. Instead, they just out-pressure Ole Miss until they finally crack. And the ghost of Guh, push them back to the back of their net.
I like that the ghost of Guh is what stressed everybody out enough to kind of just spin around and open up another opportunity. Just pure skill at that point, if that's what makes you nervous. Wova up in the air with this one. Everybody trying to get in position. Carries it over one. Not quite. And Guh's follow-up will go through. Just another goal to add to the tally.
Yo, are Ole Miss gonna stop this? I really don't think that they are. That was actually a really decent try from Lunar. He let that reset come in so he could try to squeeze it up the backboard. And his timing was decent, but he was just too far off the wall, so he ends up getting dunked instead. But I mean, it's pretty much an impossible situation to make that save. That was an impressive maneuver for Lunar to make, and you still get scored on. And I don't know if they can really win this. If that flick goes in, then maybe you got a chance. But they did this last time, Hercules.
Yeah, there's the makeup for that initial shot going in. It's the Lunar goal that's trying to close things up. But yeah, like you said, we've seen this time and time again where Ole Miss absolutely has the capability to respond to Ball State goals. The problem is they just never seem to have as many opportunities as Ball State.
Oath He bumped Lunar out of the way, demoed Wonder Mike out of the stadium, and, well, that would have been too much, Oath. All right, you can get 2, but not all 3. And now maybe a little too much. Guh having to stop the ball momentum. Oh, yeah, never mind, Guh. You know what? It's just an offense. It's just offense. There you go. Shots in. Oh, God. Please, dude. It's 2 goals again. Is he going to get a hat trick in all 3 games?
I think so. I feel like this is like the perfect definition of best defense is offense, because the few times we've seen Ole Miss go in, they at least are able to score. But if you don't give them the chance to, and you just continue to extend this lead, in particular Guh, and you just let him keep having the space to do so, it's going to turn into a lost game.
We'll see, Money. We'll try to get within 1 again. But things are looking pretty difficult there for Ole Miss. They do have an idea of how Ball State want to pass the ball. They've been good enough at getting in the lanes, but Ball State have adjusted. The passes have gotten shorter. And so while Ole Miss are kind of in the area, this is happening. They're losing the 50. They're getting back in the rotation. Everybody lost their mini 1v1. C-Money lets that go. Wonder Mike gets too heavy of a touch, easily punished, and Lunar has to turn around and defend a flying Oath. And he got broken on that play.
Yeah, definitely broken. That one just found its way right on through. Up by 3, Ball State. Looking comfortable, confident. This shot goes wide here from Ole Miss. Low boost on the end of Wonder Mike. Just gonna kind of play the patient game, I think is what Guh wants to do. Kind of almost taunting them at times to say, hey, you know, what is the plan? What is the challenge that you're gonna try and place on us? Because I've got backup sitting right behind me, and if I've got my eyes closed, I know they're ready to go.
You know, Guh did get deleted on that play. Lunar sitting on the wall, and he ends up getting bumped, but it works out. Wonder Mike, 2 touches saved. Oath ready for it on the goal line. C-Money pops it up again off the ceiling. Well, this is pretty much the last try for Ole Miss. Less than 2 minutes. You're down by 3. You need to score on this possession. Lunar kicks it back across. Wonder Mike has to dive from his own third because C-Money had rotated on the backside. Now Lunar gets 1 solo try down the field. Lets the 50 drop back to C-Money. Looking for Lunar, and there's still nothing developing for them. They're just locked down by Ball State. There's simply no way into the orange half.
There really isn't. I've even seen them try and push up. I think the best you're gonna get is an accident, an accidental shot. If I'm looking at this one right.
Well, yeah, C-Money and then Oath. I think both players trying to do a little too much. Gus saw C-Money, so he comes in quick to stop the ball, and then Oath coming in way too hot on that ball. He was a little bit behind. I think Oath thought he would get there in time, and then he was late. So maybe a chance. But like you said, off of an accident, off of a mistake.
Yeah. I mean, you could take advantage of it.
Yeah.
You can try and take advantage of it. I mean, granted, on the end of Ball State, I'm like 99% sure they just laughed it off. But
fair enough.
With a minute left to go, I mean, 2 goals isn't quite impossible, but you're definitely going to have to do something a little bit risky in terms of sending somebody upfield and being really accurate with opening up, you know, some opportunities. Like we talked about before, there's been so many bumps and demos on the end of Ball State onto Ole Miss, and we haven't really seen, you know, that vice versa, you know, version of it.
Lunar got the flick. Wonder Mike coming around. Almost in miracle mode for Ole Miss as the ball gets back again. And they're just preventing Ball State from getting free chances in front of the box, but it's Ball State pushing it forward into the blue. It's Guh! 3 hat tricks! He's got hats for days if you need a hat if it's raining outside. Call Guh! He's your guy. Oh my God, they just can't stop him. 3 goals on 5 shots. He doesn't have any assists this game, but that's fine. Oath is picking it up. Wova has 3 assists. Oath has 2 of those goals as well. Ball State are playing a complete game. Oath says, give me a hat trick as well. Why not? We got hats everywhere. Everyone look under your seats. Look outside of the stadium. We put hats under your chair. Make sure you wear them. And wow. I mean, Ball State, just rename them to Hat State.
Rename them to Hat State. 2 hat tricks, 5 in total in the series. Might even be 6, actually. If you could correct me if I'm wrong. Oath wants to go further than that. Take us back further past Brazil's 7-2, 8 seconds left. It's just
GG's.
insane. It's GG's. It's the exact thing that everybody was going for, and poor T-Bates.
No, T-Bates, he was trying
to be kind.
Well, I certainly thought Ole Miss had a better chance in this series, but they didn't. C-Money up high, the ball will touch the ground, and Ball State will make a statement against the rest of the Eastern Conference below them. 3-0 against the next highest team.
That was an incredible way, to take down somebody who was so close to you in rankings, right? Ball State, absolute monster house. The 3-0 sweep. I mean, just look at it. It's a Ball State montage.
It's a guh montage.
A guh montage.
All you're gonna see is full of guh, and you're gonna go guh. How many times is he gonna be on the broadcast? Lunar shows up once or twice as a feature. Nice for Guh to put some other people on the track on his album. Stand-up guy Guh is, and Oath also trying to help Ole Miss out. Appreciate that, buddy. But man, Guh.
What do you say? Guh. He's Guh.
Guh. Let's go, bro. Let's go, bro.
Well, speaking of going, this is just the beginning of the day, you guys. We've got more Rocket League coming up after this. Hopefully it's might be a little bit more intense, so we'll see. Don't go anywhere. We've got more Rocket League after the break.